Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Thank you for joining me for Zen Chin Yoga's third cooking video. And if you are just tuning in for the first time, every week we have a special ingredient of the week that we use to create a special plant-based dish. So for this week, our ingredient of the week is, if you can't already tell what it is, it's cauliflower. So what are we going to make with our ingredient of the week? I have a very special recipe I wanted to show to you. There are many variations online, but I think I found one that will suffice our cravings. And it's pretty simple to follow. Now when I show you the ingredient list, you might be slightly intimidated, but don't be intimidated. It all comes together very, very well. Also, you may have a lot of these ingredients already in your cupboard. If not, run to the grocery store and don't expect to spend much money on purchasing those items. So tonight, I thought I would share with you one of our favorite recipes. It is the baked cauliflower with an orange glaze over it. So on the nights that we are craving takeout, especially when I used to eat meat, I love the orange chicken, but I never felt good after eating it. So I came across these recipes where you use the cauliflower instead of the chicken, and you bake it, and you put that orange glaze on it, and serve it with rice, and it completely satisfied that takeout craving I had. So tonight I thought I would share with you that very special recipe. Now, when I show you the ingredient list, don't be intimidated. It may look like there's a lot of ingredients on there, but chances are you have most of them in your cabinet already. If you don't expect to spend much when you purchase them from the store, and why not? Go grab them, stock your cabinet, and then you can have it ready to make at a later time, because I guarantee somebody's going to be asking you to make it again. So, what ingredients are we going to need for this recipe? Okay guys, so make sure your oven is preheated at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and then before we can bake our cauliflower, we need to dip it in the batter. So the batter, you'll have your chickpea flour, your gluten-free flour in there, the cumin or cumin, however you say it, and then you need to add your milk. I wanted to show you guys a real quick tip. I couldn't find chickpea flour anywhere, and I really didn't feel like driving all over Nashville today to try to find it, so I ended up just buying some dry chickpea beans, and then I used my coffee grinder and I ground up the amount of flour I needed, and then you just pour it into like a sifter so that you can get all the big pieces out of it, and then you have your flour. So if you guys want to do that, it might actually be a lot cheaper than buying the special bag of chickpea flour. I think I may have, well, this is a pretty big bag, so I paid about $3 for this. But you could get a bag of chickpeas for almost $1 at some places. So get that, stash it into your pantry, and then you'll always have some. You can cook it or use it to make chickpea flour later if you want. But again, if you don't want to make it the gluten-free batter, you don't have to do that. You can just use regular all-purpose flour. So I just tend to, I've been experimenting a lot and with gluten-free baking and cooking, just because a lot of people are developing sensitivities to it. And so I just found it easier to bake it like that, so I don't have to hear moans and groans later of, oh, my stomach hurts or whatever, because that's the cook's worst thing to happen. So what we need to do is, once you get your cauliflower cut up, I tend to do them in the bigger pieces. They're just easier for me to put in the batter and to bake. I also found that if you cut them smaller, they tend to burn a lot quicker in the oven. So, but you experiment, you do what works for you. And I also leave a little bit of the stalk here because it makes like a good handle. So you literally, after you whisk all of your ingredients together, the flours and the milk, I tend to use almond milk. Across the board, I've had really good luck with it. It just, I don't know, it works really well for me, but whatever plant-based milk works for you, use that. So you literally just coat like a little ice cream thing. Coat that in there and set it on parchment paper on your baking sheet. So you just want to do that for all of the pieces you have. If you do the full 4 servings, you'll have a lot more to dip than me. I'm actually just I'm having the recipe because I'm just cooking for 2 tonight. So doing the batter is probably going to take me a little less time than it will if you're doing it for 4 people. And then just allow a little bit space in between the 2 pieces, 3 pieces, whatever you have on there, just so that they have some room to cook. Almost got it all on here. Uh-oh, got some pieces trying to escape here. And yeah, you don't want your batter to be super runny. You want it to stick easily to your cauliflower pieces, so that when we put the orange glaze on it later, it'll stick so much easier to it. And then at this time too, before you dip your pieces in here, if you wanted to add pepper to your batter, you can do that. Or some people like to add, people who like the spices, they will add, some kind of spicy powder. I don't know. I don't eat a lot of spicy food, so I don't know but some people like to do it. They like to make it hotter than it needs to be. Anyway, you can add that to your batter now if you want, but all the pieces are on here, and now we just need to put it in the, didn't take long, huh? I already got batter on my face. We just need to bake it into the oven, so about 15-20 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. You want it to be medium to golden brown. And then again, if you have the smaller pieces, keep an eye on those because they burn a lot easier. So we'll pop those into the oven and let those cook, and then we can prepare our orange glaze. And literally after we prepare and warm up our orange glaze, we just put the cauliflower in it and dinner is done. It's a very quick, simple, easy recipe, and I promise you everybody will love it. So let me go ahead and pop this in the oven. And in it goes. Set my timer. I'll probably set it for about, I don't know, I'll do 17 minutes and then I can come back and check on it. So while that's cooking, we can go ahead and prepare our glaze. Let me move this out of the way while that's baking. I already went ahead and put everything in here and just whisk it up. In here you need to whisk together your orange juice. I used fresh orange juice from an actual orange. Where else would you get orange juice from? I don't know. I'm just saying I used it from the orange, like the actual fruit, and not from a container. But if you have orange juice in the fridge and you want to use that, that's totally fine. I'm just experimenting and trying to be as close to nature and earth as I can. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, so in here we want to whisk together our orange juice, our apple cider vinegar, a little bit of water, the tamari, let's see what else I put in here. Oh, the orange zest. We want to put that in there too. The tomato paste and garlic and cornstarch. Now it calls for the actual garlic clove. You can use that if you want. I actually just put garlic powder in there. I didn't feel like cutting up, mincing garlic tonight. So you can do that. Also, I felt like when I cook using the powder, it just seems to stick to the cauliflower a lot better than if I put the clove in there. So, but you do you, whatever works for you. I also put a little bit of pepper in here as well. I like pepper in my food. This would be a time too if you wanted to add more spices in here. You can. Don't go too crazy because you want to be able to taste the balance between the vinegar and the sweetness. So kind of get that sweet sour taste. All right. Perfect. So this should be well whisked here. Make sure everything is blended well together. And once you get the cornstarch mixed in there, go ahead and pour that into a saucepan. And we are just gonna let that cook for about 2 to 3 minutes until it starts to bubble. We want it to start thickening up a little bit. And then once the cauliflower is done, we can pop that cauliflower in there and get that all covered up as well. Okay guys, I think the cauliflower is done. So let's get it out and check it out. Yep, they look like they're done and ready to go. Pop the bun here. Let me see if I can show you guys. Don't worry, it's not too hot. But it has a nice golden brown tint to it. And the dough, or the batter, I guess you could say, is baked. You can feel it. I'm on point with my adjectives tonight for sure. So yeah, these are good and ready to go. Put that over there. And then the sauce, I let the sauce cook a little bit, slowly simmer while the cauliflower is cooking. And it definitely got thick. And so at this point, we can go ahead and toss our cauliflower into the glaze. I do want to know if you, I guess if you forget to taste if you're using an orange and you forget to taste it like I did, and you come to this point and you taste your glaze and it tastes very bitter, like you didn't get a good sweet orange, what I like to do is I usually have orange marmalade on hand. So I just add a little bit to the mix that way to sweeten it up a little bit, or you could just add in a little brown, or you could add a little brown sugar if you want, or just regular sugar. But I would taste it before you add your cauliflower in there, just to make sure that, you know, it is palatable, I guess you could say. Otherwise, it's very sour and it's bitter, so you'll definitely want a little bit of sweetness in there. I find that the orange marmalade works really well because you're sticking with your orange flavor. So let's go ahead and put our pieces, our cauliflower, in our glaze. It smells so good. Perfect. I'm gonna turn my oven off. And then you can just gently use the spoon, or a spoon, to kind of coat the pieces of sorry, my animals are always up to something when I'm cooking. I have to check on them. But you can use the spoon to just kind of scoop the glaze over your pieces of cauliflower. Another thing you could do too, which I've done in the past, especially if I'm making the dish for a lot of people, I have to like triple the serving sizes. Sometimes I just make the glaze separate, completely separate, and then I just let people pick their cauliflower pieces, and then we just pour the glaze over it. So you can do that too, but this is a lot more fun because you can really, you can let it cook for a little bit, let it get, you know, make sure the glaze stays thick. See if I can show you guys. Okay, you can see that the pieces are starting to get covered here. Kind of hard to do that without dumping it. So just do that and just let it. I keep the stovetop very, very low so that everything can stay warm. And then you can serve this with, I'm gonna serve it with the basmati rice. That's like our favorite thing ever. I love rice. I just think it would pair really well with this. It's a very light, delicate rice, and it won't mask the bold flavors of this dish. Otherwise, you could do it with pasta. Some people do it with like ramen noodles, or you can experiment with it and see what you like. But the most important part is taste testing it. I'm gonna get this little tiny piece here. Yep, we're good. It's perfect. It's so perfect. Awesome. Okay. All right, well, that's it. That was so easy, so quick to do. You could easily get this done in probably 20 minutes, if not even less. Again, you can serve it with the rice, noodles, a salad. Just have fun with it, experiment with it. I think kids would really like this too. If you guys end up making this, please let me know. Send me pictures, I wanna see it. I wanna see what variations you guys do. If you end up doing something different, what you serve it with. Let me know if you make it and it tastes great. I wanna know that too. I love this one. This is my favorite. Like I said, it takes no time to make and it's so good. I promise you will like it. So, all right. Well, thank you again so much, everybody, for joining me for our Zen Yoga cooking demonstration. I will put in the notes below, in the video notes below, the ingredients. I'll post those on there for you too. I will post the website I got this recipe from if you just want to go to that website there. And yeah, if you do not already receive the Zen Yoga newsletter, please, 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 please go to zenchenyoga.com to get signed up for that. I promise you, you will only receive a newsletter once a week, and they're very short, but they're cute, they're fun. You will get the first look at any and all new videos, any special Zen Yoga announcements. You guys will know that before anybody else does. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel so that you can stay in the loop of any new videos from Zen Yoga as well. And yeah, that's it. So I'm going to dish this up and I'm gonna eat it up and I'm gonna be really happy. And it's, you know, scary movie night, so I'll probably find a scary movie to sit and watch with Sadie as well. So, all right, well, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great night. I will see you soon.